Zen Buddhism and Nestorianism. Series 23. Body and mind will drop off naturally. Cease studying words and following letters. Learn to withdraw, turning the light inwards, illuminating the self. Doing so, your body and mind will drop off naturally, and original self will become manifest. If you wish to attain suchness, practice suchness immediately. Phukhanzo Zengi. The Way of Zazen, recommended to everyone. This time, let's take a look at Zen Master Dogen's path to enlightenment, dropping off body and mind. The origins of Zen Master Dogen, and the reasons for his ordination. Born in Kyoto, in 1200, to Minister of the Interior, Koga Michichika, and the daughter of Regent and Chancellor, Fujiwara no Motofusa. Dogen, the founder of the Japanese Soto sect, was of a distinguished family, descended from the Murakami Genji, Koga clan, the 9th generation descendant of Emperor Murakami. However, after losing his father, at the age of 2, and his mother, at the age of 8, Dogen felt a sense of impermanence, and ascended to Mount Hiei, at the age of 12, shaved his head, and became a monk. Seeking Buddhist teachings, in Song dynasty of China. While training on Mount Hiei, Dogen was troubled by the many questions he had about Buddhism that he was unable to find answers to. At the urging of the Tendai Buddhist monk, Koin, Dogen decided to travel to Song China with Miyazen, a disciple of Eisai, the founder of the Rinzai sect of Buddhism in Japan. An encounter with an old temple cook. Dogen, who met an old monk, being in charge of the cooking manager of the Ashoka temple, on a merchant ship, docked in Qingyuan Prefecture, Mingzhou, now Ningbo City, was told, "You foreigners do not understand ascetic practice, and do not know the characters." Dogen felt deeply embarrassed, and when he met the old man again, he asked him again, "What is ascetic practice?" The old monk replied, "Ascetic practice is life itself, it is the limit of the 10 directions, there is no escaping or hiding, it is right in front of you." Dogen then asked again, "What are characters?" The old monk loudly recited, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Meeting a true master. Dogen traveled throughout China, seeking Buddhist teachings, at various monasteries. Finally meeting his true teacher, Zen Master Dogen. Zen Master Dogen said to Dogen, "From now on, you may come to the abbot's quarters, to ask questions, day or night, dressed in your traditional robes. I am like a father to you, so please forgive my rudeness." Zen Master Dogen, patiently and meticulously, gave Dogen his earnest teachings on various questions about Buddhism. Kushugedenkyo and Phukhanzo Zengi. In the autumn of 1227, Dogen asked Master Dogen for leave to complete his training, left Mount Tendo and Kushugedenkyo. Returned to Japan empty-handed, carrying only Miyazen's remains. For the first 2 or 3 years, he lived at Kenninji Temple in Kyoto, and during this time, he wrote Phukhanzo Zengi. The Way of Zazen, recommended to everyone. Which can be considered a manifesto for the founding of the Soto Zen sect in Japan. The founding of Koshoji Temple and Shobogenzo. Dogen retired to Fukakusa in 1230, and wrote the Bendowa. In the spring of 1233, he founded Koshoji Temple, in Fukakusa. Beginning in the fall of the same year, he composed and lectured on various volumes of the Shobogenzo, including the Gedenjo Koan. In 1234, Koan Ijo became his disciple. Ijo served as Dogen's attendant until his death, and wrote the Shobogenzo Zuamanki. In 1236, Dogen established Japan's first monks' hall at Koshoji Temple, and began full-scale training of monks. However, in 1243, Koshoji Temple was destroyed by monks from Mount Hiei. Founding of Eiheiji Temple. In July 1243, at the request of lay believer Hatano Yasushigit, he moved to Ekizen, commuting between Kippoji Temple, Rubayama, Iheijicho, Fukui Prefecture, and Yamasibudera, Onogun, Fukui Prefecture, where he composed, and preached, over 20 volumes of the Shobo Getensō. In 1244, he built Daibutsuji Temple, which was renamed Iheiji in 1246. The following year, in 1247, he traveled to Kamakura, at the invitation of Regent Hojo Tokiyori, who offered to donate temple land to him, but he firmly declined. Passing away. After presenting the final chapter of the Shobo Getensō, the 8 Great Enlightenments, Dogen's illness worsened. In 1253, he traveled to Kyoto, for recuperation. He passed away, on August 28 of that year, at the private home of his lay disciple, Kakunin. He was 54 years old. Dropping off body and mind. Dogen Zenji, the founder of the Japanese Soto Zen school, went to Song, China, and studied under Zen Master Dogen at Tiantongesai Temple. After returning to Japan, he established the sect style of Shikantaza, which is based on the principle of dropping off body and mind. One early morning, in the first year of the Baoqing era, near the end of the Xianju, one monk began to doze off during zazen. Rujing scolded him, saying, meditation should involve dropping off body and mind. What can you do if you just fall asleep? Dogen, who was meditating nearby, heard the words, dropping off body and mind, and suddenly had a great enlightenment. He immediately went up to his teacher's chambers, to offer incense and worship. When Rujing asked, why do you burn incense? Dogen replied, I have come dropping off body and mind. When Rujing tried to approve Dogen's enlightenment, by saying, body and mind dropping off body and mind, Dogen rebuked him, saying, this is a temporary skill, so you should not arbitrarily give your seal of approval to me. When Rujing said, I will not seal you without reason, Dogen further asked for confirmation, what does it mean for not sealing me without reason? Rujing then replied, drop off, and fully acknowledged Dogen's enlightenment. A attendant, named Guangping, who was nearby and listening to this, exclaimed in admiration, this is no trivial matter. A foreigner has achieved such a great feat. Kenziki. Xianju. In Zen Buddhism, the 90 days, during the rainy season, from April 16 to July 15, on the lunar calendar, are called Xianju in Chinese, or Jiango in Japanese, during which monks practice and meditate en masse in Monk's Hall for training. It's not surprising that some drowsiness may occur. Usually, an unsui carrying a kaisaku, a stick, circles the hall at appropriate times, so if you wait, with your hands clasped together, as he passes in front of, or behind you, he will tap you on the neck or shoulders with the kaisaku to dispel your drowsiness. However, this method may not have existed at the time Dogen traveled to Song, China. A monk began to doze off beside Dogen. When Master Rujing saw this, he shouted, meditation should involve dropping off body and mind. What can you do if you just fall asleep? The essence of Dogen Zen. These words, body and mind drop off, were like a bolt from the blue, and cleared away Dogen's long-standing doubts. Dogen realized that when body and mind drop off, the self and the universe merge, and a state of heaven, earth, and I have the same root, and myriad things and I are one body, is realized. He immediately went to Rujing's abbot's chambers, to offer incense and worship. At this moment, the pedagogical method and formula of Dogen Zen, with its core principle of shikantaza, was established. It is easy to see why Rujing's attendant exclaimed, this is no trivial matter. A foreigner has achieved such a great feat. Dogen was 25 years old at the time, and Rujing 63. Different hearsay. The above story of Dogen's enlightenment is based on Kenziki, a biography of Dogen, compiled by the 14th abbot of Iheiji, Kenzei. However, sources, such as Shobogenzo Zuomanki, Hokkien, and Denkaroku state, once, during late-night zazen, Master Ru entered the hall. Admonishing the masses for falling asleep, he said, meditation should involve dropping off body and mind. He sits in a daza without offering incense, worshipping, chanting amitabha, repenting, or reciting sutras. Dogen heard what the master had to say, and suddenly attained enlightenment, and this became his connection. After meeting Master Ru, he practiced day and night, and so on. Which suggests this event occurred during late-night zazen, rather than during the dawn zazen of Xianzhu. Goya Zazen is also called Yaza, and is considered a very important event that takes place late at night to conclude the day, but when Zen Master Rujing looked around the monk's hall, it seemed that almost everyone, except for Dogen, was dozing off. This is reminiscent of the scene, on the eve of his crucifixion, when Jesus returned from his final prayer in Gethsemane to find all 12 apostles, except Judas Iscariot, fast asleep. It is said that Zen Master Rujing was furious, as he beat one of them badly with his sandals, and went back to his abbot's quarters. When Dogen saw this scene, he immediately went to Rujing's abbot's chambers, where Rujing, still angry, questioned him, asking, "What have you come for?" When Dogen silently offered incense, and bowed. Rujing retorted, "Why are you offering incense?" To which Dogen replied, "I have come, dropping off body and mind." To which Rujing grinned, and muttered, "Drop off. Drop off."